So, yeah, everybody, welcome to today's webinar with the topic using player contributions to identify football player targets. So first of all, a little bit about SciSports. So maybe a lot of you know SciSports already, but for the ones who don't, SciSports is founded in 2013, actually with the reason to become football manager in real life. Myself, I've been playing football manager a lot, maybe some of you too. And actually, so I'm the football consultant at SciSports. My name is Wilco Stremler. I'm mainly responsible for the recruitment part. We also have three different modules, but football manager is looking most like the recruitment part. I'm working with a lot of clubs and agencies and other football-related companies together. I try to train them in the best way possible into the platform. For any concerns, they can also come to me. And when there are updates in the platform, I will be giving them a demo or an update. Before this, I was a video analyst at SCRV under 21. My main jobs there was coding the matches, so coding individual players, doing the team principles and doing the pre and post match analysis. Here I was in contact with the coach and the assistant coach to be up speed for the upcoming opponent. For today's webinar, the webinar will consist out of 20 minutes and we will finish with a Q&A of 10 minutes. Please, if you have any questions during the webinar, feel free to ask them. My colleague Josh, he's in here as well, and he is helping hard behind the scenes, so thank you. The content of the webinar, first I'm going to talk about the overview of the types of data used in modern day scouting. Secondly, I'm going to talk about why general statistics fall short, why player contribution is a better way to identify potential players, and last but not least, the real life use case. So actually we found a keukenkampioen-divisie club willing to give us an actual use case at this moment to find a little sneak preview to find a center midfielder. So, but we will come at that at the end. So going into the webinar, so the types of football data used in football analytics. Actually, we have football data comes in several flavors. So we have the matchy data. Probably you're all familiar with that because if you're on your phone opening, for example, Flash Score, you can see the score, you can see who were the goal scorers, what were the lineups, the substitutions. Then we have the ball event data. And for the ball event data, imagine somebody tackling the player. We need an event type. So this can be a tackle or a pass, maybe a duel, a clearance, or maybe a shot. We need the timestamp and the spatial location and the meta information because it's really important to know where and when did what happen on the pitch. And then we have the tracking data. So imagine cameras around the pitch capturing each and every moment of the player on and off the ball. So it's good to mention that the ball event data is only on the ball events. But yeah, with those three types of data comes also the availability and the granularity. So as I already mentioned, the matchy data is freely available. As I said, an example is maybe Flash Score. The ball event data is commercially available for professional matches. And the tracking data, limited available and only for a single team or teams within the same league. With this is coming a high granularity, so really in-depth analysis of the ball event. It's a little bit less, and limited granularity for the match sheet data. But we are talking today about our recruitment platform, and I will give you some examples later on in the webinar. And player contribution is powered by the event data. So everything in the recruitment platform is powered by the event data. So what are the problems with the general stats? So maybe you already saw it in the teaser. Is Kyle Walker a better passer than De Bruyne? So what we did, we took the previous season in the Premier League and we were looking at the most accurate passers in the Premier League at this season. As you can see, Aymeric Laporte is on top, followed by Thiago Silva. Then you have Ruben Diaz, Rodri, and Kyle Walker. So in this case, Aymeric Laporte is on top. Thiago Silva. So the first three are central defenders. And it's not a coincidence, in my opinion, that the first three are also playing at one of the best clubs in the Premier League. So at their position, they probably have to play passes which have shorter distance, passes without any pressure, or a simple pass to the left back, could be to the right back, maybe to the goalkeeper. And there you see Kevin De Bruyne with his 82.5%. In this picture, Kevin is maybe a little bit younger than, it's not an up-to-date photo, but as you can see, 82.5%, lower than Kyle Walker, but does this say that he is a worse passer? I don't think so. He is a completely different position on the field, has to play passes maybe with more pressure on the ball, with more distance. So it's all about the context. So now I have two videos. I will show a pass from Fabregas and a pass from Busquets. So let's go on to the first video, where the first one is Fabregas. So here you can see Fabregas playing a brilliant pass behind the last line. Ultimately, is not able to give the ball a header. And you can see amazing ball, but not a goal out of it. So, and let's go to the second example, where we see a ball of, we need to find the Busquets pass. And it will repeat. I'm sorry. So in this case, a pass from Busquets, it will be displayed again, where Messi is doing Messi things and scores, a dribble past the opponent, and a brilliant goal, I think. Again, you can see a simple short waves pass from Busquets. And in the case you're now opening your flash score, you see Busquets gets awarded with an assist. But in the previous example, Fabregas isn't being awarded with an assist. So let's go back to the slides. And that's why traditional statistics fall short, as I already told you. Because in the first example, there's no goal, no assist, but it's a really high quality long ball from Fabregas. And in the second example, there is a goal, there is assist, but it's just a simple short waist pass from Busquets. So that's why we want to valuing in player contribution, because we need to find a way to measure the impact of a situation without an end result. And so how will a football player action impact his or her team performance in games? So giving a value to each type of action on the pitch. Here you see Busquets playing the ball, and here you see Messi receiving the ball. So we do this, first of all, in the pre-action game state. So how likely is it that the team in possession will score a goal from this game state? And it's also being calculated, so how likely is it that the team in possession will concede a goal from this game state? In this webinar, I will only zoom in on the scoring part, so I will leave out the conceding part. But how do we do this? So in SciSports, there has been developed a machine learning model, which is analyzing all previous similar events, or similar events. So as you can see on the left, you see the photo of Busquets playing the ball to Messi. Then on the right, you see three similar moments. So the machine learning model has seen, okay, what did happen in those three moments before. And so he could predict the value of Busquets' pass. And it's being valued, as I already said. So in this case, it's being valued with 0.03, what means 3 out of 100 similar game states in the past have led to a goal. So again, we have the pre-action game states, Busquets passing, and then the post-action game states, Messi receiving the ball. And we see, okay, at the moment Busquets was, in the pre-action game state, it was 0.03%, and then went up to 0.05, not percent, sorry. And what happened, there has been a score increase of 2% with the pass of Busquets. But contribution ratings account for context, because if we look now at the pass of Fabregas, this pass is about 7 times more valuable than the Busquets pass. So actually coming back to it, a summary of the contribution ratings. We want to measure the impact of an action without an end result. Let's pick another example. We can see if a winger, for example, is giving 10 really good crosses towards the striker, but the striker fails to make the goal. In this case, the winger will still be awarded via the contribution ratings, but yeah, he won't be awarded with an assist. So I think this is a really nice example, also a video to show you how does this look in a match. Sorry, we have to play it now again. Oh. Yeah, so here you can see, so this could be a cross, a clearance, a shot. So what I'm saying, all kind of different actions are being measured due to the player contributions. So De Bruyne passing, getting it back, and all events are being calculated, and now you see a goal. In this case, De Bruyne is doing De Bruyne things, I think. But let's go back to the presentation. So having told you this, go back to the Fabregas pass. We needed a metric to create a value for the pass or for any other action types. And that's what we do in the SciSports platform. So now I want to make the transition to the platform. So as you can see on the left, we have all kind of different action types divided in action groups. You see on the left, offensive and defensive. In this case, you see passing, crossing, finishing, but also in the defense part, you see the pressing or the prevention. And then zooming into an action group, we have a short pass, a long pass, a build-up pass. And going more in depth, we see on the right side a B swarm of where Kevin De Bruyne is overall rated. But what we do in the platform is we rate Kevin De Bruyne against all the center defensive midfielders in this case. So in the same position, in the same league. So now, use case helping a Keukenkampioenvisie team find and hidden talent. So what happened? The technical manager of a Keukenkampioenvisie club receives the following request from the coaching staff. So in this case, my main duty is to really decompose the sentence, so the request, and talking with him, okay, what can we translate into the data? So first of all, they want a creative midfielder who plays high quality of passes into the opponent's half. And secondly, this player needs to have a tactical understanding of finding the right position between the lines in the opponent's half. So what are we going to do? We are translating football slang to data. So in this case, we are looking for a creative center midfielder, and we take the last part, plays high quality of passes into the opponent's half. We take, for example, the pass into the final third and the deep completion, and we fill in top third, as you can see on the right side. What does this mean? This player needs to be amongst the top third performers in his league at the same position. Let's go to the second request. So this player needs to have a tactical understanding of finding the right position between the lines in the opponent's half. So positioning in the half spaces and positioning in the final third. And we take it again on top third and top third. It's also possible, for example, to take it on top half or top 10%. It's just what the scouts or the sporting director or the chief scout wants. Maybe they want firstly to do top half, and maybe then decrease to a shorter list, or maybe they just immediately want to find the best performers. And that's what I want to say here. So in the database at the moment, we have more than 230,000 professional football players around the world. And with some smart tricks, setting the right parameters, you can go from a long list. You can go from 230,000 players to a long list of 10, 20 players. So did we do? We took everything. So just adding firstly the basic filters. In this case, we just took the age, the creative midfielder pass. Creative midfielder, we translated it to advanced playmaker. EU was important, center midfield. The size scale, I will not go in depth, but it is the level of the team. And we are adding the performance filter, so really the contribution ratings. And we see 5 people. We see Lucas Lingman, Lorenzo Lonardi, Giulio Magliotti, Richard Neudecker, and Lucas de Vega. And immediately, I think in this case, it's an eye catcher that Lucas de Vega is without contract. So what is a technical manager, scout, someone within the technical team doing then? So he's scanning and validating potential targets. So in this case, Lucas de Vega, he sees, okay, he's EU, he is matching the level, he's having a positive development, and he's among the average performers in general, so overall, at the same position in the same league. And this is important because we just selected all the the contributions we want him to be really good at. So in this case, I took deep completion, I left all the 3 out. And what we see is he's overall rated as a top performer. But it's also important to make the transition to compare quantity versus quality. So in this case, we can see the quality is really good. He's amongst the top in the green, so amongst the best performers. But the times he is doing it is really often. So that means you can say almost that it must be a quality of him. But let's go to Adri Perol, because you see the white dot here is Adri Perol in the overall rating. And you see, based on his contribution, he is also quite close to Lucas de Vega. But what's the difference? We see Adri Perol, how often is he doing it? So way less than Lucas de Vega, amongst the ones who do it, less. But his quality is the best in the whole league. So now this is why video and data go hand in hand, because it's now the choice for the scout to watch the videos to say, in the case of Perol, is it maybe 2 times luck? Maybe he should do it more often because it's a quality, or maybe it's not possible for him to do it due to the playing style. So those things, that's what I want to emphasize. That's why video go hand in hand, and why player contribution, in this case, is the best way to identify player potential targets. So the concluding remarks, contribution ratings reward players for the high quality actions. Clearly defining player requirements can help you go from long list to short list. SciSports recruitment platform allows you to find high quality players easily, just as we did by setting the right parameters. We went from a really big list to the high quality players. And last but not least, data, video, and live scouting go hand in hand. Especially not forgetting the live scouting. I didn't touch up on it, but it's also really important for scouts to go live to the matches, maybe to see how the player's behaving, how is he reacting on the coach, which is really important as well. So I think that was exactly 20 minutes. I will answer your questions. We'll check it out. Give me a moment. I see some coming in. Okay, so I see a question from Hadi, answer live. What is the difference between a role and a position? A really good question, Hadi, I think. Actually we have some positions. In the platform, we have 22 player roles, so more player roles than position. In this case, it could also be that we have different strikers. So a striker is a position, but he can be playing in a role of a target man, a poacher, maybe shadow striker. So that's the answer. Thank you. Let's see. I see another one coming in. Just give me a second. Are the position and pressing metrics also based on event data? The question is from Victor. So Victor, in this case, what I said, good question, but everything in the recruitment platform is based on the event data. So in this case, the pressing metrics and everything you saw, so the 50 action types is based on the event data. Thank you for the question. I see a question from Daniel. How do you measure potential? So Daniel, I think I'm happy to explain it to you, but today we just leave it for the contribution ratings. I'm happy to explain you more about it, and I think in the future we will give more webinars as well, where this definitely would be a topic. So I see another question of Hadi. How do you assign the roles, as players can change roles during one match or even multiple matches? That's true. So in the case, we selected the roles, so in this case 22 player roles, and they are connected with the performance style, so with the contribution ratings. And that's when we see, okay, what is a player doing? So how is the player behaving during the game? And some of these performance contribution ratings are connected to a certain player role. So if we see, okay, there's a lot more overlap with this role, then we assign the role to that player. But good question, because a player in our platform can also have overlap with some more roles. So it is not that in the case that a striker, for example, only can be 100% the target man. But in this case, a striker can also have 70 or 75% overlap with the target man, but also with another role that the striker could play. Let's see if there are any other questions. A good question from Marek. Do your clients usually know the exact requirements of the player they are looking for, or do you help them define that? So in this case, in our platform, we have written out what the player roles are. So the clients, if they're willing, they know which performances they do and connect it to the player role, so they are up to date from what the player role consists out of. But we are also maybe happy to help them during a search. But in the end, it's for us most important that me in my job, train them as good as possible to use the platform themselves. But I can imagine it's maybe a difficult platform in the beginning, and that's exactly why I am there to help them. I see Jitse. Hi, at what age do you get players into your system? Because they are getting into the first teams a lot earlier these days. Yeah, good question. There's not a baseline that we putting in players from a certain age. If we have event data of a match, so it could also be, for example, the under 19 of Schalke, and those players are maybe 17. And they will be in the platform, not for all leagues, but for the leagues we cover. It can be in the platform then. So there's not really a line from what age. Let's see. I see some other questions coming in. Give me a second. Can you find newcomers and potential development players? Good question, Latif. So this is possible in our platform. There are really a few ways to do this. You can sort them on the potential or on the high developers players. You can even sort them on the potential development. So that's the thing we have, but also on the size scale development. But there definitely will be a webinar where we maybe will zoom in more on this. But it's a good question. So let me just scroll to the questions. Another question from Sale. How do you deal with comparing event data from players in different leagues? Yeah, and that's exactly where the scouts come into place to recognize these things if you're comparing players from different leagues. Yeah, so always put it in context if you're comparing a striker from the Eredivisie with a striker from the Bundesliga. Yeah, those comparisons need some explanation or some background, but a good question. I think we do answered most of the questions. Yeah, so I think we will finish the webinar now. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. I did, and yeah, I was very happy to answer also the questions you got. And yeah, hopefully we will be hosting a webinar more often. So please sign up before, and I think yeah. And we also have recorded this webinar. So in the end, it's also possible to watch it back on YouTube, for example. And we will put it also online on our socials. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back soon.